channel. Welcome to the nightly recap. Let's go. I had to bring back the old school intro. We got a lot of news to cover. Let's go. Come in, hit the like button. We got Lake the Great. We got Lake the Master Great, the Master Wizard. Just super chatted, like 17 super chats. I was like, bro, calm down. You must have made good trades. He said, no, I am a secret hodler from 2016. So what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So we have a historic announcement. We've had all of these hints from President Trump that we had Qatar, Egypt, Pakistan, Israel, Hamas, like the Gaza, this whole thing was being phone calls after phone call, meeting after meeting, and we, I think, came to some type of an agreement. And so there's speculation if the agreement will hold. That's the poll I have right now on the chat. Is the agreement going to hold? Well, we're going to see how this plays out. We're going to read the official post that was from the White House and also from President Trump and a few other sources, which I think the one that we reposted was from JD Vance. But we have a lot of bookmarks. We have a lot of different things to cover. Oh my gosh, it's just like, I don't even know where to start, but we're going to hopefully keep on track. But make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you are sharing this with your friends, sharing it with people that you love. And because we cover a lot of stuff on here, you know, we talk about crypto, but we also kind of talk about, you know, almost kind of go, you know, philosophical. We break down, you know, the trends. We kind of try and look very much macro, but we also give you the price action. We give you all the, you know, the stuff that will give you the dopamine hits that you like. And we're hopefully, you know, focusing on the ecosystems where people are going to rotate to next. And that's a topic that we're going to get into today, is where, you know, a lot of people are bridging over into BNB now that BNB is like just breaking all-time highs. And we're seeing a lot of people go into the trench on BNB. And I kind of feel like we're just going to see that obvious rotation right back out. And we're going to see ecosystems like Solana again, pump fun. We'll even see rotation into AVAX. We'll see it into Base. We'll see it back into Sui, Polygon, you know, the usual suspects, and of course, Ethereum. And so we just think that instead of trying to chase the green candles, maybe you can just see where it's just the opportunities are lying. And there's a lot of those in places where we're going to get into privacy coins, because that also might be one of the end game rotations for the entire space, because people will all of a sudden realize that because of the nature of what's happened in the UK with the digital ID, all the stuff that's happening with privacy and being able to actually, you know, not have your transaction to everyone see what you're buying and see what you're doing. Privacy might become a big thing that people all of a sudden just start paying attention to. And then Monero and Zcash. And I mean, look at what's happening. We're seeing these things pump. And then we're going to talk about how maybe this thing that Headband's been, you know, leading us to this Zera and this, you know, zero proof, zero knowledge, privacy protocols where you can send your coins into it, and then you can send and do things and in a private manner, and also message in a decentralized manner as well. So, oh my gosh, we just got so much to talk about, guys. But welcome. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell to be notified. I'm going to make sure you're doing that. We are streaming this live stream Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 8:30 on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we're streaming to Kick. We're streaming to YouTube. We're streaming to X. We're streaming to Twitch. We're streaming to Rumble. We're streaming to all the major platforms so we can get the message out there that this crypto and all these things, we got to be focusing on it, and we got to lock in. This is the time. This is the time, my friends. All right, so let's get into a little bit of the Bitcoin and altcoin analysis. Let's get into the Bitcoin altcoin analysis, my friends. let's look at the chart. Let's get this chart over here. We're gonna get into the ticker Bitcoin analysis. We're actually gonna chart some ticker Bitcoin, and we're seeing ticker Bitcoin. Dre said Aster's going down. Aster's going down. And guys, let me know what you're drinking too. What are you drinking? We're definitely not drinking coffee. We had 3 coffees and we were going wild earlier on our live stream. We're drinking some decaffeinated green tea. Decaffeinated green tea. So ticker Bitcoin is in this channel. It's in a really nice channel. When you're looking at this on the weekly, it's looking really good. I think ticker Bitcoin has a lot of things leading, going for it. A lot of like these little partnerships. We keep seeing things like, so we had OpenCB super ticker, bullish ticker Bitcoin, and realized that the ticker is Bitcoin. We thought this was funny that Elon Musk, like a while ago, and he said Bitcoin is my safe word, and they said the ticker was revealed a while ago, and so we know this to be true. And where was our comment? I said we know. My wife said this might be one of the best pictures I've ever posted on X, and I said I would agree. So that was good. We could not help ourselves. That was a good one. But yeah, we believe the ticker is just going to be one of the in-game rotations as well for meme coins. It really is one of the best meme coins. I mean, what meme coin could you not like that has the ticker Bitcoin? It's on Ethereum. It's a Bitcoin on Ethereum. It's the coin that lived. It survived 9 drawdowns. It's on its 10th recovery. Lake the Great has had to have made a massive trade. Like he keeps super chatting. He's becoming a member. He's like, I hit it. He's like, I'm in the money. I'm in the money. I'm in the money. He's like, I've traded better than you. I know. I have the blight of a crypto influencer where I'm here every day, which can actually be a double-edged sword where you can get chopped a little too much. And then if you actually are just stepping away from everything, then you actually do better, you know? Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. If you're on the mobile, I have no clue. I don't know how to do it on the mobile. But that would be awesome. How many people are watching on YouTube right now? There's 7 people watching. So yeah, guys, if you want to consider becoming a member, just like Mr. Lake the Great, you get a really cool cheeky Pepe, and also your name turns green. So then your name matches the cheeky Pepe, and it just feels cool when you have the cheeky Pepe. And it's a great way to support the channel. We don't have any private groups. We don't really sell anything. All we ask is if you want to, if you're going to add volume into the market, you can use my trading links. And then also you could, consider becoming a member of the channel. But, yeah, this ticker Bitcoin is having some really interesting little cryptic. Oh, I'll check Aster too. Yeah, we'll get into the DEX tokens. We'll get into, yeah, Dre, we'll for sure. We'll hook you up. Yeah, we'll go into the Aster chart. We'll look at Apex. We'll look at Hype token. We'll look at all the things that have to do with the DEX. But look at this. Come on. Are you kidding me? Look, this is Binance, and they posted this: expecto protecto your assets with Binance, Harry Potter, and the Wallet of Secrets. They've been doing this for a while. They've been doing these like cryptic texts and leading to the fact that they're most likely going to list the ticker. And I don't know if this is if this is true. Yeah, I think Aramco and Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu are going to be teaming up as a direct sponsor. Pitched the Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu to Aston Martin and Aramco. collab to the team. Bitcoin is moving fast because you do have to go fast in this market. Now you're playing with some freaking power. So that's just some ticker Bitcoin bullish news. Man, brings back that sound, man, brings back so many memories. That Sega. And speaking of nostalgic games, we actually bought a really cool collection for the Switch that me and my daughter are going to get into. It's the Crash Bandicoot triple feature, where you get the first 2 Crash Bandicoots and then the racing. So it's going to be fun. I think my daughter is going to like it a lot. Okay, so let's get into some of these bookmarks. So there was a confrontation in the House, and you can see between the Democrat and the Republican here, and we're just going to show this battle.
You're not going to talk. You're not going to talk to me. You're not going to talk to me and talk over me, New York residents, because you don't want to hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm listening.
So why don't you just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because you showed up.
Is that the way to talk?
You showed up.
Yeah.
And so you voted for this one big ugly bill.
For this. You can extend it right now.
A permanent extension of massive tax breaks for your billionaire donors.
So 90% of Americans,
they can get a permanent extension.
90% of Americans take the standard deduction.
Is that right?
90% of Americans take the standard deduction.
Is that right?
If you had your way, the standard deduction would have been cut in half. That would have been a massive tax increase on Americans all across the country.
You're here, unfortunately.
You're against lifting the cap on salt.
Your billionaire donors.
The billionaire donors lifting the cap on salt. We put a income cap in place.
Why are you here right now?
Didn't you want all Republicans to be here? I'm here.
Where are the rest of your Republican
You wanted Republicans to be here. I'm here.
Why are you?
And by the way, you can pass an ACA extension right now. Sign on to this bill.
Did your boss
sign on to the bill?
Is your boss Donald Trump behind you?
HR 5145. Why don't you get on it?
Mike, is your
So it's getting a little heated. It's getting a little heated out there. But meanwhile, while all this is going on, we have some privacy coins being built and being official. Office of the Secretary of State certificate of filing for Zara Labs. So official state Texas filing. So I don't know, this Dax guy, I'm gonna have to continue to follow the journey here, because last time I faded headband, I was very much shown, and I don't know, maybe I just need to listen to him this time. So yeah, we're gonna follow this as one of the privacy plays, a really early privacy play, and then we're also gonna probably start to look into acquiring some Monero and some Rose, because I know Rose actually is in the privacy sector as well, but also deals with AI and some other things as well. I think some cloud chaining, and I don't know, some other techie crap. We can start building up the bags. But yes, this market has done everything possible, and I agree with Becker. We got Jordan Shirtliff in the house. What's going on? And if yes, Jordan Shirtliff, what we were talking about, if you're going to be up late, then yes, then we can do that. So this market has done everything possible to shake you out this last year, and I really do believe this. I think this past 2 years has been just just boom, 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 boom. If you're one of the few with the patience to survive this, which that was been our whole theme over the past couple months, is just being able to survive the shaky volatility of the crypto, because like any sector that is going to have this type of like revolutionary type of switch over, or just like takeover, I should say. It's just like it is a renaissance in finance, and we feel this. We know this to be true. We see it happening right before our eyes. So I think there is going to naturally be volatility with this, but we have to be able to survive through it. But if we are one of the few with the patience to survive this, you are about to become comically rich. But we're kind of been saying the same thing. And then we have this, CoinDesk's new Canary Trump Coin ETF has been listed on DTCC, Canary Trump Coin ETF. So we are tracking the Trump coin, and we're thinking to ourselves, like, look at how many holders, look at how many people hold the Trump coin. 633,337 people are holding the Trump coin. The bubble maps, if you look at it, 88% of the supply is held by the Trump team. 80% of the supply, not 88%, but 80%, and then 3.6% is held by Binance. And then the rest of these small balances are like Upbit, and then we have cold wallets. So we got a Bybit, Hot Wallet, Gate.io. Yeah, this all like exchanges, and then everything else is like these, you know, other whale wallets, but most of it, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I think to myself, with all of this, you know, the peace talk, and if it can actually successfully go through, Trump would go down in history as one of the presidents that could put to his name successfully getting a peace deal in the Middle East. That would be something to, I feel like that would be pushing some volume into the Trump coin, is all I'm saying. And then we have any other incentives that would be going down the pipe with World Liberty Financial to be holding Trump. Solana going back up. Like, so imagine when Solana, because look, if you look at the liquidity, I'll explain why I'm talking about this, because when you look at the Solana liquidity, and you get what has the most liquidity out of every single Solana project, it's the Trump coin. And then when you look at the pump token, that's right under Trump. And then what's under that? Fartcoin. I mean, it's hilarious. So I don't know. I have this feeling that we could just get a massive, like, this could be the easiest thing for them to pump. And look at the liquidity. It's got 320 million of liquidity to be able to handle any type of pump that would come up. And look what happened here in April. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. I really want to keep my eye on this, because this could be one of those mega trades. Because you think if it just goes up to where it pumped up to April of this year, there's two different levels. I mean, you got this level right here, 45% move. Then you have this one, 105%. Then you got this one up here, that's 207. And yo, what's going on, Trade Intuition? Hope you're doing well. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. And then if we just get back to close to the all-time highs, that is a 583% move to the upside. And I think if it's the president's meme coin, I think there is a big possibility that they will just run this thing up. Why not? So I don't know, guys. Like, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. Like, I want to get in a trade, because I told you guys about my trade that maybe have a nervous breakdown. I had this trade on the Trump coin when it was pumping that I got stopped out. And if it would have not have been stopped out with because my stop loss was really aggressive. It was super tight. All I had to do was just let it go, and it wicked, stopped me out in my stop loss, and it went flying after that. I looked at what my P&L would have been, and it would have been a $15,000 P&L trade, and I about lost it. I think it was one of those things where I just had bad trade after bad trade, and I was just not mentally feeling super hot, and that made me have I about lost it, because I was like, I saw it, I was like, oh, it's gonna run again, and I just felt it, and all I had to do was just, woo, oh my God, all I had to do was just not be so aggressive with the stop loss. But I still I had to take that one. But it was frustrating. It was really frustrating to know that I was that close, and that would have been just a mega trade, because after that point, it literally went up 100. I think it went up 100 and something %. So that's why it was so massive, the potential of what the trade could have been, because it just went parabolic. It was like that second run. It was just insane. So, but yeah, I just think there actually might be another chance. So who knows? But there's a lot of opportunities out there. And we're gonna get into, you know, some of the altcoins. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into gold and silver again. Gosh, there's so many things that we can get into. But let's get into the chart. Let's look at Bitcoin. Let's see how Bitcoin's performing right now. Like I said earlier today, Bitcoin is doing this thing here where we've pointed this out before. It is it looks like Wyckoff accumulation. On the 4 hour, you can really see it. So it's got like this point of resistance. You got a low here. You trade back up. Got that range resistance here. Goes back down, and and then this is where you can see if it makes a higher low. So we make a higher low, and then also you can see where RSI looks really good. You see that, and then you see another like this. That's also a good sign. That gave us the run to the upside to clear here on that same resistance. But then when you look at a Wyckoff pattern, it usually goes back down to test from the resistance, which is, you see the order block. And then what's so interesting about these patterns is that usually there's previous data here to show you that it's just going to pump up back to that range. And so because this is sitting at all-time highs, this is where I feel the next price target is going to be, is at that 134,000. Just what these patterns have done before and what I've seen on some of these charts. And it's just been doing this. I don't know. So I'm just doing a little bit of pattern recognition. Nothing too crazy, but it could be, patterns can be invalidated, but when I feel like we're in a bull market, we have a lot of things that, like, for instance, the Fed officials saw another 2 interest rate cuts by the end of 2025. We got rate cuts coming. Liquidity still hasn't, the appreciated price for Bitcoin has not caught up with how much gold has gone up and how much like liquidity is going to be going into the markets. And also, Solana and Ethereum have been suppressed by market manipulation, and that's why BNB is breaking all-time highs. We could go into that too, but that's a whole nother, we could have a whole expose probably like that. And we're hopefully going to get Marty Party on the stream to break that down, because if you're wondering why BNB is still in the show, it's because Binance doesn't hold any proof of reserves of Solana, or even, I think, very small ETH. And what they do is they dump it. And so I think a big reason why Sol is where it's at is because these exchanges are doing this, and it shows on chain. That is, if anything, that is a good reason of why this might be happening. Because if you saw it as like if you look at it from now how everything has happened. You remember that Solana was like the talk of the town. It was like everything on chain Solana. And then it just seemed like every time Solana was about to get close and break all-time highs, Binance would activate like Order 66, execute Order 66, and they would just be like killing the Jedis. Sending all the SOL to the Wintermute and dumping it. And that you could see it happen every time. It gets that range, and then it's like a Binance sell wall. It almost seemed like Ethereum had that same type of feel. But I don't know. But it's pretty crazy. But yeah, so I think Bitcoin is going to do pretty well. I think Bitcoin's going to do pretty well. I think we're going to be going into a really nice, steady accumulation. I think the best way that we can look at this too is go into you know, the Bitcoin ratio charts. You can look at, yeah, I mean, at a point they can only do it so much. Like, that's what we were explaining earlier on the live stream, is like they can only do it so much. Like, as eventually it's not going to work. But this is a good indication that we are not even close to being done yet in like how much money we're going to be making in crypto. Because we're not even here yet. This is where I think when we're up here, I think we can gracefully pay ourselves. When ETH BTC is up here. And then there's a really great indicator, and that's the DXY. Once we see the dollar down here where it was before, maybe it'll fool me. Maybe the dollar strength will go up as Bitcoin and gold are going up. Who knows? I mean, I just, maybe it'll surprise the heck out of me. But I have this theory that we're going to see it right here. And then we're going to have gold at like it's going to be like at $7,000 an ounce. We're going to have silver at $150 an ounce. And Bitcoin's going to be at like $300,000, $350,000 per Bitcoin. ETH is going to be at like $8,000. And this is all, I think, going to be happening in next year. I know that sounds crazy. I know that's like mega, mega, mega bullish, but I think that's what's going to happen. We have all the perfect bullish setups, the framework, the scaffolding, all the things, all the analogies. I think it's happening. Another metric of where I think what can help us to know that we're not even close yet is Litecoin. You know, people make fun of Litecoin, but I think Litecoin had been the best, you know, oscillating indicator of where we should be taking profits in an altcoin season. Because if you remember, before 2016 to 2017, there wasn't really that many cryptos in the market. There wasn't very much an altcoin. I mean, there was very few. And then once we got into this market, there was a lot more. Once we got in here in the 2020, 2021 bull run, a lot more. And you can see that it hit these areas each time in the altcoin seasons that we had that euphoria. And so while it wouldn't make any sense that we wouldn't at least get back to those points or even exceed it because of the nature of the regulatory framework, all the liquidity. That makes sense, right? I mean, I don't know. That's some dubious speculation, but this is my like look, if I mess up however many times I'm going to mess up here, but if I can at least just get thousands of dollars of crypto accumulated all in these areas before we get up here, I think I can sleep at night. But if Litecoin is literally at $400 or even getting close over to like past 250 and I don't feel like I've accumulated enough, it would be a sad Dano. So we're not going to do that. So we're doubling down, we're quadrupling down in these areas because we're not here yet. And I feel like it definitely also represents very well in the ETH BTC chart too. And that's how I'm feeling. So I don't think we really need to do a big Bitcoin altcoin analysis breakdown. I think you guys got enough of that earlier today, and probably from other channels as well. But I bet a lot of other channels were not showing you gold and silver. We showed you the gold chart and how it's done a basic, huge textbook breakout cup and handle over the past since 2008. You know, the cup formed in 2012. And you can see here, it just had a massive textbook breakout that from this, it's basically exceeded 146%. It's crazy. Yeah. And so This is, I think because this is happening with gold, this gold has been the universal world debasement trade of currency that's printed by central banks. There's so much confusion going on with numbers and rates and jobs, and no one knows if the numbers are correct or not, or if people are, or if the government's lying, skewed data and things like that. Yes, Mantle. Yes, that there's some big things going on with Mantle, and also, guys, if you are into Mantle and if you deposit in my link with Apex Omni using Mantle, you'll get triple Apex points, which gets you more airdrop. So if you're wanting to, if you're into farming airdrops right now, use my link in the description. It's the Omni link. It's for Apex Omni, and you can use Ethereum, Mantle, Base, Binance Smart Chain, and I think that's it. Yeah. Well, let's pull it up. Yeah, ETH. Oh, and Arbitrum. Yeah, also an Arbitrum. But what's cool is if you deposit using Mantle, specifically Mantle, you're going to get extra points. And guys, speaking of alts, my alt trades look like trash. My alt trades look like absolute garbage. The only one that actually looks good is my Brett trade right now. I went into a tiny little Brett trade because I saw that Coinbase was announcing that you can trade any of the base chain stuff on Coinbase in the DEX portion. Just kind of how like they listed ticker Bitcoin, but it was just by trading DEX. Not like a full like listing where they're gonna buy like, you know, a big supply. But yeah, either way, I think it you know, bullish for base memes. Bullish for base memes. Okay, so we're gonna get into silver real quick. So silver, this is where I'm like, look, silver has not successfully broken fully out of its cup and handle pattern that has formed. And we were showing that if we can, I don't know, this might be dubious, but we'll just do this. Our target would be $162. I think it would, I don't know if it would be to 20. I mean, I think 2026 or 2020. I mean, 2026 would be fair, but also towards 2027 would also be a little bit more conservative. But if you want to be like mega bullish, I really do think that we're going to see a crank up to brand new all-time highs for silver. We called this too. We were pretty dead on with silver. I will say, like, as much as we look at crypto and we're crypto people, like, we nailed gold and silver. That probably would have been one of our best trades if we would have just gold futures, silver futures. I mean, geez. So I guess my point of all of this with following gold and silver and showing you where this has been the hedge for debasement. I think the ultimate hedge for actual like liquidity throughput and frictionless like money, this is why crypto is going to be so important. Because if gold and silver can do what it's doing, then I have no doubt that the total cryptocurrency market cap is going to get to its also cup and handle breakout pattern. Now, you see why I'm correlating all this together? You know, I'm not doing it for no reason. Because I'm seeing all these patterns. I'm seeing how if gold and also in silver can just like massively break out through their cup and handle pattern, then I don't see why we couldn't get a total cryptocurrency market cap exceeding 7 trillion and eventually going up into 16 trillion up in this channel. Just mean, you can even just see here that like where we haven't really gotten to the points of where we're gonna really, really just like melt faces here. So those are my targets. I'm very bullish. And I hope you guys are too. But just checking in, guys. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? See how many people we have watching across all platforms. The restream has not been updating things properly. It's been being a little funky with that. The Sprotos are coming in hot. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so yeah, let's get into the okay, so now we talked about gold and silver. Let's talk about the historic peace deal. So this is the post from President Trump, who said, "I am very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first steps toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey." I think we said Pakistan, so I'm going to say Turkey, "who work with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers." So this is good. This is good. I like this. Okay. So that's all we're going to say about it. Well, I think we've gone on enough rants about how we feel about, things. So we're good. Surveillance money. The European Central Bank accelerates the digital euro. They're trying to just CBDC everyone in Europe and the UK, and also get them to do the digital ID. So you see how they're going to eventually try and turn it into how the Chinese social credit system, and how if they don't, and they already do this, they already like, if they don't like what you're saying, they show up and they arrest you. They will arrest you for your posts, and then they'll go as far as, once they get you set up on the digital credit system and also the ID system, you go into the grocery store and you try and buy something, and they'll probably reduce how much you're able to buy for food. So they'll just starve you out. So literally, escape. I don't know what the hell you do. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you have to do, but holy crap, that's crazy. Okay, so what's the answer? Crypto. That's the answer. Bitcoin, decentralization, having your own wallet. I would be like, nope. If I was the UK right now, I would be protesting. I would be out protesting and saying like, no, we're not going to do this. I'm not doing it. Cool. I'll go. Yeah. Oh, a right to work for to just have the digital ID? Absolutely not. It's totally where they just say, hey, we're going to shut down everything that you do, and we'll starve you out if we don't like what you say. If you don't agree with what the government says, if you don't agree with what we're mandating for you to do, and you've also been, we've also watched all of your social media. We saw what you posted here. We saw you posted there. We saw you posted this meme, and they'll just completely wipe you out. And that's atrocious. That's like basically the whole, like, whatever it is, like the mark of the beast, where it's like it's like full absolute control, and it's not good. And we've actually and it's funny because we've talked about this in terms of like a whole encompassing kind of like ethos of your thinking, of perception of why money is so important, why sound money is so important, why centralization at its core, when it's ultimately used in a means of really sinister control, then that's why Jesus is so powerful and was breaking boundaries of centralized power. So all of Jesus's teachings were basically like decentralizing and giving power to the people to be able to access the true knowledge and wealth, which was the direct connection to God, because he was saying, hey, it's through me. But in a decentralized way, where it's like, no, you don't have to go to the temple. I'm breaking the temple. I'm arising in 3 days, aka me. So this is what's really interesting with this combat of what's happening between governments trying to fully control the people, knowing that there's a radical like resurgence of people wanting to get into following Jesus, learning about Christianity, getting more spiritual, and then at the same time we have this dichotomy in this duality of these forces happening at the same time. So it's pretty crazy. So it all relates. You might not think it does, but it does. And Bitcoin and crypto is a part of this story. You getting your money right is a part of the story. So all right. So let's see. Anything else? Yep. So yeah, Trump says Hamas and Israel agree to the first phase of the peace deal. So yeah, let's just see how that plays out. This was really crazy. I saw this Florida man. So you guys remember the Palisades fire, the Palisades Inferno, like one of the fires that just like ripped through that the area of California. It was insane. So a former Los Angeles resident turned Florida man has been arrested and charged with starting one of the most devastating wildfires in city history, a blaze that ripped through Pacific Palisades January 2025, killing a dozen residents and reducing multi-million-dollar homes to ash. He says prosecutors say that let's see, Jonathan Rinder militia set the fire that became the Palisades fire. I guess they had surveillance evidence and they were able to link his phone and his location to that, like pinpoint exactly that like he was the one that was in that location like right when the fire started. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty wild. Yep. All right, so let's keep going down some of the bookmarks. Music miracles. He said what he was one of the pilots with the laser DE igniters. Oh God, you're reminding me of some crazy conspiracy stuff, and it's not a theory because it was actually happening. People were getting caught adding to the fires. I don't know if it was these fires because there was like 3 separate fires. We had like the Maui fires, then we had a really big fire in California, but then we also had this one. So there was multiple. So it was like it's sometimes hard to keep track, especially when you're literally across, on the other side of the world or on the other side of the country. Basically, there were people getting caught on camera adding gasoline to the fires. They were like, they had their 5 gallons and they were like chucking just like causing explosions and just chucking like fuel into the areas of the fire. And people were like, what are you doing? It was really strange. It was really weird. But we have these theories that the Maui fires were actually because of the way that some of these things were burnt. There was these sections of houses that just didn't get burned at all, and all of a sudden there was this entire sections that were burnt to complete ash. Lasers. Massive lasers. That was the conclusion, I think, from all the conspiracy people out there, that it was like, yeah, that wasn't normal. There was some type of weapon or some type of thing that they used. And they also, the conspiracies, you want to go down the rabbit hole, thermite bombs, and also that technology was used to bring down the not going to say it. YouTube already hates me. They're going to ban me, but yeah. Don't go down the rabbit hole, my friends, because you'll get really pissed if you go down the rabbit hole. Yeah, Oprah Winfrey's house, all the billionaires' houses were totally fine. They were totally fine and everything else around it was burnt to a complete crisp and ash. How do you explain that? That's like the passport in the rubble in New York. Explain that. Everything to rubble, and there's a completely clean, perfectly crisp passport looked like this in the rubble. Give me a freaking break. Don't make us go down the dang Solana. Don't make us go down the rabbit hole, please. All right, Solana is dead, bro. I'm bridging to BNB. Like someone who, like, they never have a chin. The people that... Ansem actually made a good point. He was like, if the timeline's all screaming Solana's dead, that's usually probably a good time to buy, because all the people that are saying that Solana's dead, they don't have any stake in mostly anything. They probably don't believe in anything, and they don't realize that there's like massive capital backing Solana. And a lot of the top 10 chains, and I mean, we can even go down the line of where a lot of where money is flowing. I don't know. I just don't like becoming a maxi, because once I start going like, oh, this thing's going to die, even XRP, I think XRP will still kind of pump up to those levels that we said, but I don't think it's going to be, you know, obviously it didn't get picked for the Swift banking system. That was like one of the key driving arguments for XRP army people, was that it was going to be used for the Swift banking system, or it was going to replace the Swift banking system. And now we find out that Ethereum, Linnea with Joseph Lubin they're going to be used helping the Swift banking system. But Lake the Great, I know, yeah, you love Bitcoin, and no, you rightfully so. I love Bitcoin too. And Sol is going to be interesting. Sol is going to be a really interesting test of people's patience, I think. Sol also is in a cup and handle pattern, and I think that I think Sol has a very good chance to go to $900. Not 1,000, I think 900. I think that is fair. And out of a lot of these altcoins that we're looking at right now in altcoin season, it's got a decent pump. So 274%. That would, if Ethereum, even if Ethereum goes to the targets that we think it's going to go to, like a conservative target, go to the fib extension, go into those first couple fib extensions, like that 8,491, that's 94% for ETH, okay? That's 94%. We're not looking for that. We know ETH is going to be still a big long-term hold, but if we're going to be honest, I think Sol could reach 900 from where it's at and go up a good, like, almost, you know, go almost 300%. I mean, that just destroys Ethereum, like, out of the water, and would be one of the top performing alts in alt season if that was the case. And then who knows? I mean, what if that does happen? That's why I don't want to be a maxi. I want to maybe hold some of those, because I've talked about, because I do like some stuff on Solana. A lot of it mostly is like DeFi stuff. Like, I think Orca would be a smart hold if say Solana did this. I think Orca would be a decent hold for a DEX play, because the potential, if Solana did do this and it goes up, I mean, that's a really nice return. Even just breaking to going to all-time highs, 300%, and then if you get to the 1618, which a lot of these altcoins have been eyeing, that's 600%. So yeah, so a pullback on Sol, we've already kind of had the pullbacks, but if you will say we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of green on Solana. And that was, but also from the bottom here at 110. And if you look at the weekly, we've just been on a really nice uptrend. But I think Solana is gonna go here. It's gonna go here first. Like, this is the first target. If we're gonna be fair, it would be to go to the first 1618. But staking too. There's a lot of Solana that is can be staked in all these different areas. Like you can stake Solana on MoonPay, you can stake Solana on the, you know, the Phantom wallet, you can stake it in the, I think you can stake it in the Trust wallet. There's all these places where you can stake it. You can stake it on the exchanges and earn yield and stuff like that. So it's potential that, you know, and the thing with Solana is that there is still, in terms of the tokenomics, I don't know how much they can, like, how much they're putting in the supply, and then whenever like the market does transactions, like how if they burn it. Honestly, like I have no idea. I really don't. I have no idea, like how exactly the tokenomics in terms of like when, you know, you're using DeFi or when you're staking Solana and how that is all operating. I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not like a super expert on it, but I mean it is liquid staking. It's a, you know, it is a, you know, it's a layer 1 proof of stake. Yeah. And really, I think the whole defense with Solana is that could it be that the NASDAQ and a lot of trading volume ends up tokenized on Solana? It is on Ethereum. We know this to be true, and we know that Solana is also being one of the top picks of a chain to get market share. So I don't know. It just might be just like to have a little bit of the Solana stuff that's kind of you think would be bullish, have a little bit of Ethereum stuff you think is going to be bullish, and then you just kind of go down the line. And you really can keep it simple though. You just hold a couple tokens from each thing, and man, even just a couple of them pop. I remember Journey Crypto. He made it real simple. He's like, look, if you're getting a couple $1,000s in each of these plays, and say you have 10, 15 plays, you could have half of them go to zero. You can have literally half of them go to zero. But if even just 1 to 2 to 3 of these projects end up hitting, say, a 10x, a 15x. Some of them have had a potential to go 20x. And just maybe, what if half the portfolio goes to zero, half the portfolio 20x's? Then you just made back, you just canceled out any of the losses that you made from said projects that potentially could have gone to zero. And so this is what crypto can do. Crypto can surprise you very much, especially when you've been dollar cost averaging, you're building up in these bags, your conviction plays, you're not chasing the green candles, you're just being very calculated, being very focused, and I think it can really pay off. Oh, we lost our bookmarks. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. I don't know if this is true or not, but this was posted by Polymarket. There were so many things. I was like, oh my gosh. Donald Trump officially proposes a $250 bill with his face on it. So he's already going to be minting these dollar coins, and now he's going to go for the $250 bill. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? So Zera, we're talking about the privacy stuff. Zera Labs company formation, operational partner agreements, and draft meetings lined up. The new zero knowledge era is locking in. Turn your crypto into true digital cash privacy by default. Offline peer-to-peer with the developer stack for scale. I don't know. We gotta see what's going on with this. All right, let's look at the money chart. And if you look here, Zera does come up, and it's actually viewable in when you type it, when you go liquidity and you filter it. Headband did reveal something though. He revealed something. Headband revealed, and he was doing his little on-chain digging, that Wintermute was buying. Wintermute actually was accumulating money before the migration. So that's really interesting. I found that pretty interesting. I was like, that was a really nice find, really nice investigation, magnifying glass, Mr. Headband. And so it's really cool to find projects that do have promise and they're under 30 million, because we've seen things that are under 30 mil go into the hundreds of millions really fast, and it have like nothing. You know, there's no utility, there's no nothing. I mean, it's just kind of like a flash in the pan kind of thing. And we've seen those things go to hundreds of millions. Most of the time by fabricated numbers. And you know, it's kind of like that has the ruggy material. We've been very surprised at what can actually, you know, sustain things. And even when there's no locked liquidity. So I think this is a good low entry. If you're going to compare it to buying something that's in already the hundreds of millions, you're buying something that is like a early project. You're kind of just, it's like you're investing in a brand new company, and you're buying the shares of a brand new company in hopes that people will adopt the tech and they'll kind of realize that, whoa, privacy is like a thing that I probably have to worry about. And if they make some major partnership, who knows, these companies, sometimes they get major deals and that breaks the news. And then all of a sudden, you know, you get the thing going parabolic. You just never know. Yo, what's going on? Well, we got some Pulse Chain altcoin talk. Oh my, finally, we have someone from the Pulse Chain community. Took long enough. Holy crap. So 28 million on Pulse Chain seems like it's from $1 billion ETH project. If you track wallets, have you seen their website? Hans was looking at the Pulse Chain chart the other day and I liked it. Oh, wait, was it what? Were we looking at this before? Where we swear it was on a. What we were looking at something that had a pair on Pulse, and we were surprised that it had a pair in Pulse. I don't remember what it was. You're reminding me of something that we were like, what? There's a pair of this with Pulse? I can't remember what it was. But yeah, no, we're excited you're here. No, because we actually talk about Pulse a lot on this channel. You know, we have like a measly bag. You know, I mean, this we bought Pulse Chain ecosystem tokens at the absolute top, like all at the top. We were interested, and you know, we've got, you know, we're in the same boat as you, my friend. But we understand. We're part of the culture. You know, we have PLS, we have PLSX, we have some HEX, we have some PDI, we have some incentive token, and we have some Trump. We need to add some teddy bear. We need to add some UFO, some Gray's currency. What else? We might even go as far as adding some Peacock. I mean, we've used Liberty Swap. I mean, the dreaded Liberty Swap. So. Yeah, we're definitely in the Pulse Chain community for sure, but we don't get recognized is all. Even though we have pulled up the Pulse Chain charts and ecosystem, have talked about Pulse Chain more than any other niche streamer out there, more than anyone, and I would put a bet on that. I would put a freaking bet on that. So Pulse Chain altcoin talk. If you can get some Pulsicans over here, you get the Pulse Chain people over here, that would be cool. Get them over here. We're going to visit your channel. I was expecting, I was like, are you going to have thousands of subscribers? PTGC Pulse Chain GC isn't my thing, but I like Slum as an altcoin on Pulse Chain. Okay, Slum. Yeah, we'll look at Slum. Yeah, let's go down the trench a little bit on the Pulse Chain ecosystem. I haven't gone on the DEX here in a little bit. So let's go. Okay, so highest liquidity that we've noticed when it comes to just the raw liquidity in the Pulse Chain ecosystem tokens. But you got to remember that the interesting thing that this is not like new. This is not like recreating, trying to recreate the wheel. There is multiple different liquidity pools set up with wrapped PLS, also Hex, also wrapped incentive, also DAI. So there's like all kinds of liquidity happening in places and in different pairs. So and why I think this is like this, and why I think the Pulse Chain community is going to reap the rewards of a rotation of people buying these coins, is that when people buy the core coins of Pulse Chain, when people start to buy the core coins of Pulse Chain, which is the whole system of DeFi, which is you have PLS as the gas, you have PLSX as the Uniswap of Pulse Chain, you have Hex, which is the mining staking, and then you have incentive, which is the rewards, so it's just like all these different, like once people get that, then the fact that all of these different tokens inside the ecosystem are paired with those tokens like Hex, like look, UFO, the Gray's currency, it has multiple different liquidity pools, I think, set up for it. And so hopefully I'm explaining this correctly for all you Pulsigans out there, you Pulse Chain people. But I think this is going to be a really interesting thing to watch over the next few years, to be honest, because we have Richard Hart has been cryptically alluding to the fact that there is going to be this mass attention that's going to be obviously coming into crypto. We have the devices that everyone's making fun of, the boogie boards. I've tried to contact Richard Hart multiple times and I haven't been blocked yet, but I've been like, so, sir, Richard Hart, send me some of those devices so I can freaking give them out, so I can give them out to my community, so I can donate them to a charity or something like that. I don't know. I'd like to do something while all these other people are trying to freaking sell them. So, but also A1A, A1A, B2B. Shout out to A1A. Those tokens are gate kept. We've explained on this channel plenty of times, like that the Richard Hart ecosystem tokens have been gate kept from CoinMarketCap, and CoinMarketCap was bought by Binance a long time ago and was acquired by Binance for an undisclosed amount, and they use CoinMarketCap as what they want people to see. So it's like it's gate kept pretty much because none of the tokens are listed properly. You have to like go and find it. And so that's what made me even more interested in getting into Pulse Chain, because it's like a corner of crypto that is like, I feel like it's like a unicorn. To me, it's like Pulse Chain is a unicorn, like Ticker Bitcoin is a unicorn for me. And like XYO is a unicorn for me. And you might have different unicorns and different things that you're sprinkling dust on, all the hopium, copium dust. But we're looking for the biggest asymmetric upside, because I've explained this. I think this is the best way that you can look at crypto, is that we're taking the risk no matter what. Why not take the risk of getting the most asymmetric upside over the next few years? Whilst also, yes, you can play the safe game and you're acquiring Bitcoin, you're acquiring gold and silver and all this stuff, but at the same time, you have things like this, and it's just like, I see the writing on the wall, at least, I guess. And I don't know, with someone like Richard Hart, who was one of the first miners in the space with Bitcoin, like one of the OG pioneers, and he's been kind of hinting at a lot of stuff. So it's just, I have to pay attention. And what's so funny is that a lot of the people, and we've always said this too, is that the people that talk, will talk crap about Pulse Chain and say all this stuff. They've never used it. They've never tried the DeFi. They never bridged over. They never tried to do any pools. They never used PLSX. They never farmed incentive token. They haven't done anything. So even though I have a little small stake in the Pulse Chain ecosystem, I've at least tested it out and have given my opinions on how it should increase and make it better. And I've even given my opinions on how the DEX is just easy, just DeFi. Alex O'Crypto is in the house. He says, you're a live stream machine. No, so I need to run my mouth, because if I don't, then it'll literally like ear beat my wife. And I'd like, you know, I really got to give her a break. So this is my way of exercising. This is the way of exercising my mouth. Because if I don't do it, man, bad news. But everyone, shout out to Alex O'Crypto. He says, if you call me Alex O'Crypto, I'm gonna freak out. He's like, I'm gonna Canadian freak out on your. We got the Otter gang in the house. Alex O'Crypto is awesome. He's a great trader. He's straight to the point. He just shows the trades, shows the setups. He's got his people. He's got his Discord. He's got people helping him out in the Discord. So if you guys want to go into a like actual real trader, a real trader's Discord, go into Alex O'Crypto's Discord and support him. And he's got a baby. He's got a bunch of diapers he has to buy. So I don't even think his trading funds are going to keep up with all those poopy diapers. So yeah, it's like that episode of SpongeBob when SpongeBob and Patrick they adopt a clam. And SpongeBob is taking care, and Patrick is the one that's going to work. SpongeBob's taking care of the baby, and he's like, I've been taking care of the baby this whole time. You see all these diapers? And he's like, shows all these. I'm like, that's the most realist episode and representation in SpongeBob of how it feels to be a parent with a newborn, with the baby. I mean, it's just like, there's so much poop. Where does all this poop come from? You could just fill up trash cans just full of diapers. So oh man, you haven't sent a super chat, bro. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. You're a sweetheart. I mean, look at this. Like, look, this is, I mean, if anyone's going to be sending a super, look, I'm dancing on the screen. I'm dancing for money over here. Feel like a monkey. Feel like a monkey over here. But no, yeah, guys, shout out to all the crypto YouTubers. We got 2 crypto YouTubers in here right now. We got Trade Intuition, Alex O'Crypto. We got a couple Pulse Chain people in here. So we got all the golden eggs. We got all the unicorns in here. Okay, so yeah, and so that is actually, you know, kind of the top altcoin section. That is one section of alts and altcoin that I think is very much underlooked, very much brushed over, just kind of like just a brush over. And I really do think that this is just, I think it's just gonna surprise people. I'm gonna get a couple more, you know, bones in here, a couple more $100 in here. I'm gonna actually redo my farm pools and start to try and get more incentive token, because I really actually, this 16 incentive token was farmed, or sorry, did I farm? I don't know. I might have bought like maybe a little bit of incentive, but then I actually farmed most of the incentive token just to test out to see how it does. Teddy Bear said, Ape Chain or Shibarium, if you had to throw $100 and do DeFi on one, which would you choose? Oh man, that's a good question. Dang. Yeah, I love these questions. Let's go. Well, Shibarium I do know about. I don't know what's happening on Ape Chain. I know Ape Chain does have a little bit of action. It was kind of like supposed to be a big deal, and then it just kind of went nowhere. I think people were really disappointed with the other side and just kind of like the incentives that they were doing for the apes, and they were just like, eh. There was this big buildup, and then all the apes, even themselves, were like, "You're really not doing a great job." Yuga Labs, they kind of just like flopped a lot of stuff, so very much controversial. So Ape Chain kind of just went in the cleaners for a little bit. Shibarium, on the other hand, was a silent builder. Shib was supporting it, but then Shiba Inu directly on the Twitter came out and said that we are not affiliated with Shibarium anymore. So because Shibarium apparently went against what Shib was essentially wanting to do, I guess it just didn't fit with their ethics and how they wanted to operate. So Shibarium now is kind of its own thing, which it already was, but Shibarium has Bone. There's Bone, there's Leash, there's all these different tokens that are inside that ecosystem that you could look at. So, man, I don't know, $100, I would probably, I know Bone was one of those things that if you were to catch it right now, you're literally buying the absolute low. And if you were to go anywhere near all-time highs, that would be literally a 10,000% move to the upside. Like a crazy, crazy return. And so we had noticed whenever Shib was pumping that the Shibarium kind of linked ecosystem tokens were pumping as well. So probably Shibarium. Long answer to your question, but I had to give a breakdown to show you that I do know what the freak I'm talking about sometimes. Sometimes I doubt myself, but I do know what the heck. I mean, if you were to ask anyone on the freaking street, hey, would you choose Ape Chain or Shibarium? They'd be like, what do you do? They would be like, get away. They would pepper spray you in the freaking eye. Hey, do you like Ape Chain or Shibarium? They would like pepper spray you in the face. Hey, do you have Pepe or... They're like, this man's trying to attack me. He's speaking in tongues. Oh, man. Is Shibarium on here? It should be on here. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that you guys can get into. I mean, you got the Chronos chain, you got Linnea. There's a lot of stuff popping up with Linnea, obviously, with the MetaMask incorporation. Like we said, Jordan reminded us about Mantle. Bybit's heavily invested in Mantle. Mantle's one of the networks you can use on Apex Omni. I mean, you got Near Protocol. I still think Near Protocol could surprise us too. Like just when we get like some altcoins pumping. Optimism, we like Optimism and Arbitrum as Ethereum layer 2s. Sonic has been super quiet. It's only gotten $32 million in volume. So I mean, you compare that to what Arbitrum's doing, which is 888 million in volume, 1 billion. Big difference. Sui, you got almost a billion. Getting close to $1 billion. Then you look at TON. It's TON. Look at how early you're into TON. 3.4 million trading volume. That's it. So if you're wanting to look at the early places to be right now, look at the trading volume on the DEX and look at where things are sitting at. I still think we're pretty early to Arbitrum. I think we're early to AVAX. Polygon. Look, Polygon 79 million. Look, I'm bullish on Polygon. Then you look at Pulse Chain, 17 million. Come on. Early. When you look at Binance, 25 billion. So we want to be looking at where we're going to be early. Because honestly, I'm just going to be honest with you, buying these Binance tokens right now is... it's very, very risky. You're buying the hype and chasing the green candles if you're going to be trying to jump into stuff like this right now. I'm just going to be honest. So my best unfinancial advice is to be looking in Pulse Chain, Polygon, TON, Tron, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Sui, Sonic, Chronos, Linnea, Mantle, Near, Bear Chain, Optimism, places like that. That's like you're then guaranteeing yourself you are early by literally sheer numbers of trading volume and people just all up in CZ's booty hole. So, which I will not be partaking in. So it's just that, yeah, that's just how I feel. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the night recap. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out. And thank you to all the new people that came in. Make sure you come back. I hope you come back. I hope it didn't scare you away. But make sure that if you are part of that Pulse Chain ecosystem, man, get more Pulse Chain people in here, because I've always said that I don't know why the Pulse Chain community hasn't recognized me yet, that I've literally been very friendly to the Pulse Chain dilemma. let's just say we're in a dilemma here. let's all just acknowledge the elephant in the room. Okay. So you guys owe me some freaking views. You guys owe me some subscribers. All right. I have put myself out there and embarrassed myself for talking about Pulse Chain. So you better bring some people in here. It's only fair. I can't take this out. All right. But all jokes aside, we like to joke. We like to have some fun. Tropa 414 likes the energy. Awesome. Great. No, yeah, so make sure you come back. Just as a reminder, we do these live streams Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we do the nightly recaps on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And so just make sure you guys follow that schedule. Make sure you bring a friend in, tell your people about this live stream. We're trying to build it up. We're trying to build the biggest, best, funnest live stream in the business, and we are building this with our friends and building up this crypto space along with channels like Alex O Crypto and Trade Intuition and Army Piper and Randy Hipper and Jason Casper and all these people and viewers that have been watching this channel. They're making their channels now. They're inspired to start to be creative and make their stuff. So I think we're doing something special here, and we just are very grateful and feel blessed to have this opportunity to have this voice and this platform to speak. And we are thankful for you guys for watching and giving me your eyes, your ears, your attention, and your time, because it's very valuable. So thank you very much, and I will see you on the next live stream. God bless and peace out.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit hposni.com.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to show you a really quick metric that I found fascinating. So 41% of the people that have been watching this channel and actually liking the channel and the content have not subscribed. 41% of you, but I will say 58% of you subscribed. Amazing. You guys are doing awesome. But I want to say that the people that are not subscribed yet, please, won't you consider subscribing to the channel and joining the Dojo crew, where we are educating ourselves. We're in the markets every single day. We're live streaming Monday through Friday, and we're also posting content on a daily basis that is keeping up with these cryptocurrency markets. And this is where the money is flowing right now, guys. So if you want to get these updates and you want to be ahead of the game, I suggest you start subscribing and dinging the bell to be notified whenever I go live and post content, because you do not want to miss it.